Let's go to the phone now. Bring in Ian Rapoport from the NFL Network. He's the NFL Network insider. Ian, how you doing, man?
That was quite an introduction. What's happening, guys?
You tell us. What did you see from Brock Osweiler today at Broncos camp?
Well, I think he looked like someone who wasn't overwhelmed. And, you know, I mean, I think the physical traits, it's not a surprise that he can really throw it. Clearly has a better arm than Peyton, for instance. I mean, all these things about Brock's physical attributes that make someone a high pick, we know he has all that. The only thing you're looking for is when, you know, the bullets are flying and when it gets real in practice, does it all look too big for him? And I think especially, you know, right at the end, real nice drive at the end, he looked pretty good. And, you know, for this team, which you hope never gets to find out how good he is for real because you hope that, you know, nothing happens to Peyton, but this is as good as it's going to get. You know, seeing him in practice almost live is pretty good, and I think he held up okay today.
I'll ask you the same question, Ian, that I asked Les earlier. If you were the Broncos and that window's closing, would you have gone out and brought in a veteran quarterback who actually has had those bullets, as you said, flying around him, who has started games, a Matt Hasselbeck kind of type player, or even a Rex Grossman, I guess.
Earl Morrall, Ian. Earl Morrall.
Yeah.
Well, Earl Morrall would be something. You know, I think the problem with those kind of guys is they're really expensive, and they're not good values. I mean, you have to have one, right? Like you have to have a backup that you can trust, right? So you see teams pay $5 million, just basically pour it down the drain if you haven't developed a backup that is good enough for you to give you some confidence, and that is cheaper. So, you know, the bad side of it would be if they needed to pay $4 or $5 million for a backup. It's really good news that they didn't feel the need to. I mean, I remember hearing last year and the year before that they thought Brock Osweiler was, you know, a guy who had the potential to be a starter in this league. He hasn't done it yet, but that's not to say that he's not going to do it. And, you know, again, that's one of the things about this year is if, you know, let's say something bad happens to Peyton, which no one wants, but let's say it happens. Well, at the very least, you'll find out, is Brock Osweiler your quarterback of the future come end of the season? You know, signing a veteran is not going to allow you to do that.